to chat with Huggable Hipster and Sci, my pups and my loaves. So they're not here at this particular moment because I'm recording this afterwards. But so we were going to play Cards Against Humanity. But it turns out PretendYou'reIzzy.com has shut down. It says one of the other Cards Against Humanity websites. And the other ones I found it was too late at the point where we were in there to use them, because one required us to wait for more than half an hour, which was not conducive for the amount of time Ariel had, and the other we would have had to go through the process of creating an account, which was also not conducive to the amount of time Ariel had. So instead, we just chat. So I just recorded it, and Ariel recorded her thing, and I recorded like most of it. I missed part of the first part, as I just hit record at one point and said, okay, I'm just gonna record because we're just talking. We've already figured out that we're not playing cards, so I'm just gonna hit the record button. So it was an impromptu chat, which is fine. It's great. It turned out fine. It was a lot of fun. Impromptu things ends up being the most fun anyway. So, without further ado, here's the footage that I got, or at least some of it, because I had to split it up into a couple episodes. Enjoy!
Top of the line garbage.
Like this is.
Why is the lighting so bad?
Piece of shit. No. Piece of shit out there. I'm sure they're wonderful, but this was that.
Yeah.
I rearranged my room
for original films.
Wait, what?
I rearranged my room, so just very slightly, so I could just stop hitting the HDMI cable out of my Xbox. And now the lighting on my thing is crap. Oh, no. I don't know how to fix it. I moved the lamp to mostly where it was before, but it didn't fix it.
You just can't win, can you?
No. Good lighting or hit HDMI out. Choices.
Listen, you know what? I'm giving you an A for effort
out.
right now. If you can see my face, it's giving you an A for effort.
If I wasn't holding my phone up to my face to participate in this, I would do the finger guns for you.
I just hit record like a minute ago, by the way, so we're just talking at this point.
Yes,
oh, okay.
we have a makeshift podcast going right now. 2 people on computers,
Yes.
1 person on their mobile device.
Let's see, what I'm trying to do right now is I'm going to try to capture the screen, and then I'm going to do a face capture for myself, and then I'll just like do the intro and everything, and we can just talk about really whatever, and we'll make this part of the tea talk that I'm going to do for next Friday.
Alright.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Wait a second. Okay, say something into the microphone, guys. That way I know this is recording.
Something!
Hello. I am a person.
Yes, you passed your human test the other day.
You passed your human test. Now I just have to see if it actually caught any of...
Barely. I had to study for that really hard.
You can see the story behind that if you watch the series that's going to coming out about the Solstice and Destiny. We just recorded 3.5 hours of that on Wednesday.
And then your Elgato kind of just decided, you know what? I've had enough.
It's just like I'm done. I'm not even gonna let you record just a little bit more to get an outro in there.
I have to see now if this recorded the sound even. That's what I'm just trying to see, because I want to record a sample of you guys talking, just to see if it recorded anything.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I understand. Whole audio testing.
You could just ask Peter or about how much I've been fighting with Elgato, or Sci. Sci and Jay could tell you stories about the technical difficulties I've had with electronics.
Listen, Elgato has been kind to me, but every time I try to record something with Elgato that is just slightly over some FPS, it just craps out.
Now, you see, Ariel, this woman
Mine just craps out all the time.
She has gone through more electrical devices than I can count. And I don't understand how she's done that.
I don't understand either, because, like, the PCs, when I went through those 5 PCs over the span of a year and a half, there was no reason for it. They just decided that they were going blue screen of death over and over again.
Oh no. Oh
In
no.
the same amount of time that I used one Xbox and one controller that was corded.
I'm
You
on
went
my
through
3rd Xbox.
3.
Wait, no, I went through
She
3
should
Xbox 360s.
Yeah.
This is my,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
and this is my,
How?
I think this is still my first.
2.
The
And
first
also,
one.
That's not counting any of the controllers.
No,
The controllers were
no,
outnumbered
the only one I
by
broke was the
rest.
first one, sorry. The only one I broke was the first one because I had a laundry basket in front of where it was sitting and I didn't realize it was so close to it. I opened the disc tray because this was the 360 that had the disc tray that came out. So the disc tray comes out, hits the laundry basket and breaks off.
Wow. I'm impressed
And then-
actually.
I'm not sure how the second one died.
She has
Oh.
gone through more controllers than I've ever seen someone go through. I've gone through 2.
To be fair,
For
some
one
of those
generation.
some of those controllers I went through because they were perfectly fine, but they didn't have the proper chat headset slot.
Okay.
I actually
so
have one
I
sitting
guess
on
I
my
have to interrupt
Xbox
for a
right now.
second. Clap again. Okay. What's going on, my pretty fans? It's your Huggable Hipster here. I'm laughing because life right now. Oh my god. Okay. We're doing a very impromptu kind of podcast thing. We were supposed to do a collaboration where we would play, what was it, Kesshami? Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity, yes.
Yeah, that game is absolutely incredible. I wish we could have played it, but instead we're doing like this impromptu kind of podcast. I don't know what the frick it's gonna be. It's gonna be something. So I'm here today with Kesshami and Sci, who I just met for the first time tonight. How are you doing, guys?
Doing
Again, how are
good.
you doing?
Still fair, as
Still
I've
fair.
said before on the intro that did not go so well.
Yeah, my face capture didn't record, and now it's recording. Thank God.
Progress.
That happened to us
So
on
we're just
Wednesday.
basically gonna BS our way through this episode of Tea Talk, and we're just gonna talk about whatever that tickles our fancy, basically.
Essentially. That's
Because
what we're
there is nothing left to do unless we could find another online game that could be played on
like, a lot of the
mobile.
online games tend to not work if you're not already like in the like. What I've noticed is that like they'll have wait times like a doctor's office. I don't know why.
Yeah, the site I found that we could have used if I had known this ahead of time had a wait time to get into a game. I guess only so many people can be playing on it at once. Even though you're making a private game where only the people you want are playing.
Well, that's the kind of thing. Like it's kind of like we're the VIP of that game, and we're not being let into our own club.
Yeah, basically what you've done is you founded your own club. You know, it has a staff, it has like the bar, it's all good. It's all good. Except you have a 24-hour wait period for you to get in the club.
Yeah.
So no one can get in the club, but the staff are just standing there waiting for you to get in.
I'm sorry, ma'am, you cannot enter this for 24 hours, but I'm the owner!
I'm the owner. I own everything from the booze to the loud people. Now let me in.
But apparently no, there is a waiting period.
I find that so kind of just frustrating because every single time I go, even to play Fortnite, there is a wait period, or even Gears of War now, and I'm like, why? Just why?
Why must there be
Yeah,
a wait period? I get the ones that are making you wait when you're joining a game already in progress. Like
Yeah,
Mass
I
Effect,
yeah.
like in Mass Effect multiplayer, it makes you wait until that round is over and you join in the next round.
Well, that's what they do with Overwatch, and I can understand that. But like, Cards Against Humanity, it's like, okay, you have to wait 24 hours. Like, no, mother fluffing, no.
No.
We don't have time to wait an hour.
Balancing that needs to be done here. It's just a casual game for friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like there's a drug deal going down. We're just playing Cards Against Humanity, where the humor is questionable.
So
Very
what we're going to end up having to do, if we ever want to play cards, is get us all in the same place in real life one of us with the Cards Against Humanity games and play it like Mark plays it with his friends, like
Yep,
on a
I was
table
about to say
with
the
a
exact same.
camera pointed towards us.
Yep, I was about to say like we have to do like the Mark and Friends tour thing where we just basically have to think a lot of ourselves, have a big ego, and perform in front of ourselves to our friends. Like I love the way
Well,
he
the
does it.
ego isn't necessarily, but
Well,
you know.
yeah, I just say the ego because I know one of us is going to stroll in with a Starbucks acting all high and mighty, which might be me, so I apologize in advance.
You just described 90% of my coworkers.
They're all average white girls, all of them.
Oh,
I think you would get along well with Jay.
there's only 2 males at my workplace. I am one of them.
Oh, I am so sorry.
I get along with everyone, but everyone is drinking like some kind of mocha latte
You know-
from the coffee shop that's right down the street. So
You know, it's
here we go.
the ratio is pretty much the same where I live. There are few more guys in the department that I'm in. Anyways, there are 2 guys in the workshop, but the rest of us are female. And then over in the day hab, there's only 1 male.
Oh, okay. You see, that's how it was whenever I attended
8 employees,
university.
1 male.
Yeah, that's the way it was whenever I attended university, like eons ago. We had a developmental psych class, and there were about 30 people in the class, and there was only 1 male. I felt so sorry for him.
Did he have like a mobile fortress that he took with him just to like completely zone out?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. It was invisible, but it was very potent because we literally could not muster up the courage to talk to him at all because he was like this smart, intelligent dude, and all of us were just like really intimidated by him because every time that he would talk, it would go straight over our heads.
So you had 30 people in the class.
Yeah.
The collective bravery of 30 people could not muster enough power to talk to him.
To talk to this, 25-year-old grad student? Probably.
I can just see it now. There's one half of the room that's filled with people, and then there's one empty half of the room which is just him.
Right, exactly. No, we actually got put in a group with him. Very funny story. And we were talking about like the developmental process of the baby when it's in the fetus in comparison to when it's, growing and maturing in real life. And he was coming up with all these ideas. And then I like literally went up to him to say, hey, maybe we should put this in. And he gave me a death glare that looked like the Resident Evil zombie head whenever it turned, that classic zombie head turn scene. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to shut up now.
I'm just gonna very slowly back away. You calm down over there.
Just
No,
go
like, he
over
looked at me
here.
like he looked at
Ow.
me like he had like knives in his eyes. And I was like, dude, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, we're all psych students. What do you expect? We have our ego of our own.
It makes sense now.
It does.
See, I've always taken Psychology 101 for psych class, and that class, basically, we were just all trying to stay awake.
Oh, okay. You know what? It's like
No,
isn't that boring.
No, I'm not
Psychology.
saying that it was boring.
Yeah.
This particular class was just, I would say that I was at a half days, about 85% of the time I was sitting in that classroom. I passed with a solid A.
Nice. Very nice. That's very nice. You see, you know what? Okay. It's weird because psych was my major. I'm technically, as I say, well, I put in air quotes, technically a psychologist because I almost went into drug and alcohol counseling. And we had to take master's level courses that would literally put you to sleep or make you the most attentive you have ever been in your entire life.
It depended on the student then.
Not only that, but it really depended on the teacher because you had teachers who were like piss poor at teaching and it didn't matter how entertaining it was just the way that they talked. But then you would have that one teacher that walked in and he was like, he owned the room and he was just like, he, as the kids say, he was on fleek.
my psychology teacher in high school was that way. He was he had ADHD himself.
Oh,
So
wow.
so he had this ball that he would bounce around so he could stay focused. And he would just be this, like, really energetic dude. And I'm pretty sure he's why I had such an easy time in Psychology 101.
You see, and that helps. That really does help. And maybe secretly he was psychoanalyzing all of you. That's why it was probably so much fun.
He used to... I never liked going to the lunchroom at dinner, or at lunchtime. So I would just, like, wander the halls or hide in this one teacher's class, who I didn't even have as a teacher, but, like, after I broke up with my ex, he's like, you can hide in this classroom with me, it's fine.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But
I just want to point out... I just want to point out the fact that you're going to lunch at dinner. I find that very brave of you.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let it slide this one time. I don't.
You can ask. I have verbal slip-ups like all the time. Usually not so much when I'm recording. Usually somehow I make it through a recording without doing them, except for this time.
And Kesshami, how do you feel about that?
About my verbal slip-ups?
The classics.
Normal. I just don't.
Do you want to talk
I don't
about
question.
your feelings?
I don't question my own weirdness anymore. I don't question any weirdness anymore. I probably could literally, like, see someone just appear out of thin air in my room and just be like, "Oh, hi."
It's a Shinigami. You know, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised anymore either, because we're YouTubers. We're known to be weird introverts that do very crazy things.
Don't forget the introvert part. I'm just weird.
Over the top,
Yeah.
out there. They do either crazy things because they have a very extroverted personality, and that's just them, or they're introverted and they just become really weird when they're in front of a camera.
Well, that's the thing.
Whoa.
That's how we take out our shyness, is whenever we're in front of a because I'm an introvert, but I'm also, like, partially an extrovert, and that's how I take out my shyness, is, like, whenever I'm in front of a camera, I'll be, like, extra extroverted, but when I'm with my family, I'll be just normal and wacky, and it's a weird combination. Maybe Kesshami, you can, like, elaborate on that. Is that the same for you?
Pretty much. Though for me, doing YouTube in and of itself has helped me break out of my introverted shell. Though I would still say my time in New York did more for that, because I was more actively social when I was in New York than I've been anywhere else. But yeah, that's pretty much how it is. If I'm, like, around a bunch of people I don't know, and there's not a reason I don't have to talk to them, I won't talk to them.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
If I went to a party, I'd be sitting in the corner.
Yo, if I was at a party, I just would play with
Or
the
leave.
dogs. I wouldn't be interacting with people.
Oh yeah, find the animal and play with them.
I don't like parties. What I like are, like, small groups of maybe up to, like, 7 people. That's, like, that's my limit, like, my peak. Beyond that, I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to really hang out with all of them.
See, that's usually me. I've had to break out of that just because of my job, because there's, like, more than 20 people there, and when I was over at Dayhap, I had to interact with all the... They want us to call them employees now, but in Dayhap, they're really not employees. They're not working. But, you know. So I don't know if we're still supposed to call them employees over there, or if we're still calling them consumers or clients. I don't know.
You see, the funny thing is that, like, I used to do so many gigs, like, all the time, because I used to be do, like, performances and do, like shows with, like, a band and stuff like that. So I had to break out of my shell. I had to, like, find a comfort zone between, like, okay, I'm not comfortable completely, like, going all corn on the stage and being all, like, Breaking Benjamin, but I'm comfortable, like, being that acoustic coffee house singer. And whenever I was, like, on stage, people would tell me, you gotta, like, hold on to the mic or something because you're trembling up there. And I'm like, I know, I should probably have a drink before the show or something.
I know. I've spoken.
Get wasted.
I've
It's funny
spoken.
because I don't even drink anymore.
I've spoken in front of a crowd outside of school once in my entire life.
Oof.
It was to preach, ironically, and I was shaking just the entire time.
Oh.
I had this thing I did with sticks because I was talking about how God breaks chains. And I'm like, God can break them as easy as I can break these sticks. And I smashed them on my knee. I was still shaking the entire time I did that whole process.
I was half expecting you to go with that story and say, I tried to smash them on my knee and I ended up hurting my knee and I couldn't break the sticks.
I'm surprised I didn't bruise my knee. I bruised so easily.
So brutally elegant. It's like such a contradiction because you were talking about God and then it's just like, oh, I'm gonna smash these sticks. And it's like, that's so metal. So while we're on the subject of metal, I need to know, what kind of music do you guys listen to?
I listen to all kinds of music.
I'm a wide ranger.
Same.
I listen to the majority of genres. At least I'll have like 1 or 2 songs in like almost every genre that I listen to occasionally.
Okay.
Primarily, I listen to kind of like what's called epic music, which is like orchestral trailer music, things like that.
Oh,
And
very
because
nice.
because it's better for writing, and I'm trying to write 2 novels right now.
Oh, well,
so-
damn. Oh my gosh.
We got a bunch of writers in here right now.
Yeah,
You write,
what?
Sai writes, I write, though I don't write nearly as much as you guys right now.
I'm in the
I
process of-
really need to get back into regular writing.
You see, and that's the thing, like, it's just about motivating yourself, but I feel your
For me,
pain,
it's
dude,
the
because
time.
Yeah. I feel your pain, though, because I am in the process of writing a book right now, and it's not easy at all.
Yeah, it's not easy. I've gone through, let's see, I think this is my 4th version, not draft, version. I would scrap the previous version and take like one thing that worked
Oh
from
my
the last
gosh.
version and rework the whole thing. This is like version 4 at this point, and I've gotten to
Is this
over
still
50
the
on each of them.
Are you still using the universe that
Unbelievable.
you wrote the window from? Or did
Yes,
you
I'm
move
still
on from
working
that
on
one? That one?
no,
Okay.
that's still around. That one I feel has a lot more potential. So I'm still working on that one. I'm refining it. It's definitely a first draft right now, but I have like 12 of 17 chapters done.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
What do you write?
I write a lot of psychological horror stuff. I'm currently in the
Ooh.
process of writing a book called Patient Named Erica, where she has to go and find her brother through her subconscious, and they have to hook her up to like all this kind of like gear and everything like that. The psychologist is actually like the bad guy, and she has to go in to a collective consciousness with all of her disorders because she has like OCD, schizophrenia, all that kind of stuff, and she has to find her brother through her own mind.
Ooh, I like that
Ooh.
idea.
Oh, well, thank you so
It-
much.
It somewhat reminds me of
One thing
Evil
that you
with
might
it.
want to read.
Mm-hmm.
There's a book called "I Am Not a Serial Killer" by Dan Brown.
Oh, I've heard of
Dan
that.
Wells.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
He gets the personality of a serial killer in the making perfectly. Like, it's chilling to read him. So I would recommend reading that just because you can get a little more insights to the psychology of different types of people.
Right,
That-
right, and that's the most important thing too. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I'm gonna read the next 2 because it is a trilogy.
Mhm.
But the first book was definitely a good read.
Okay, I'll have to look into it because I've heard of his stuff. I just never read any of his stuff before.
Yeah. He's a little smaller name, but he has some pretty good stuff out there. He's part of a podcast as well. Ironically, even as we're talking about a podcast.
Yes, join the podcast, please, Mr. Writer. We could use some of your bone-chilling things.
I find it funny the people I end up surrounded with. Sai can write some very dark stuff. You write psychological horror. I write more of the emotional, like fluffy, happy, but I can dive into the dark stuff. And then Sarah will read both.
Oh yes, because MySpace and kitties always have a dark side.
There's a dark side to every cat you see.
In a world.
In a world where cats have lost their light side.
Tune in this fall for cats and tornadoes and sharks.
Next time on Furry Feline.
They will try to consume an entire can of Pringles. As I hold up a can of
And we
Pringles
will
right now.
meet a real cat from hell.
Cats will attempt to consume a can of fuel.
It was the first thing that came to my mind.
Hey,
Oh, I can tell.
My
That's
cat-
a Discovery Writer trait.
hey, Willow and Breeze loved potato chips.
Wait, did you just say bees love potato chips?
Breeze.
No, her cat.
Oh,
Her
I
cat.
thought. Okay, no, that's gonna be the title for this video. Bees love potato chips.
Lock it in.
Hashtag clickbait.
Now you just need a ridiculous thumbnail to go along with it.
Me screaming at the top of my lungs with bees and potato chips in the mouth.